So guys, I've kind of hinted at this for a little while now. I talked to Elliot. This knife is going to be released. We are going to do a video today about this knife. This is the Ferrum Forge Pro Series Stinger. So if you guys haven't ever gotten to see one, this is going to be a treat because these are fun knives if you've never gotten to see an actual one. So let's go ahead and get into it. So without any further ado, if you're listening on headphones, turn down the volume because here comes the music. So a few years back, Chris and Elliot did a run of knives that they called the Stinger. And it was basically the same design knife with a couple minor differences. The biggest difference, and that's not a minor difference, they did them in SM100. So the Stinger was a small pocket knife done in SM100, which is a unique steel or material, not steel. You can look it up. I've done videos about it. I've talked about it before. They did the knives in that material, and they only did 100 of them, and they were extremely expensive. But everyone that has one really loved the design, and so I got a lot of them in for sharpening because I can do SM100. All of my friends have realized this, most of my friends that own them. And so I've done and sharpened a lot of their knives in SM100, and it got kind of a cult following. So Chris and Elliot decided that they would release a production version of that original Stinger, but at an affordable price. So what we're going to do is, here in a minute, we are going to turn it around. We're going to look at it. I'll give you some specs. We'll look at some weights. I'm not going to bother weighing this because this is a prototype that has not got the same weight reduction as the final version. But basically, yeah, we'll turn it around. We'll look at it. We'll talk about the knife, and you guys will be able to get a head start on this. This knife drops Friday this week. So today is Wednesday. Friday this week, this knife will be released on their website for some versions, and then through other vendors for the rest of them. So without any further ado, let's turn this around, get the camera set up, and take a good close look at it. So guys, this is the Ferrum Forge Pro Series Stinger. Now, the original version of this knife, if you saw any of the original ones, did not have this finger choil. That's something that's been added because so many of the guys that spend a lot of time hanging out with Elliot that have these have asked him to add a choil, and it gives it a distinct, different look. I like the look of it. So what we're looking at here, what are we looking at here? We're looking at a steel liner lock, Nitro V steel blade, G10 scales, and backspacer with a fairly, this is more along the lines of a deep carry pocket clip, with a overall length of 7.3 inches, blade length of 3.2 inches, blade thickness of 0.12 inches, with an overall weight of 2.5 ounces. Like I said, I'm not going to weigh this one, even though I did get batteries for my scale, because this prototype does not have the same weight reduction. Basically, Chris just drilled some holes in this one for Elliot to feel the difference if it was a little lighter. And I really like the change in it. So, blade shape, it's kind of a drop point. Full flat grind. It does have a blood groove or a bohea or whatever you want to call it, but you can actually use that as a flipper aperture. It doesn't go all the way through, so you can get your finger on that and flip it fairly easily. The jimping on it, pretty good. Jimping on the backspacer with it being in G10 is not great. Now, they are doing a couple versions of this. You have G10, but I think if I remember correctly, there is going to be a carbon fiber version of this on their website as an exclusive on their website. The Ferrum Forge logo on the pivot, and then a single-sided pivot. Now this is not hard to take apart. I've had it apart. I managed to get one of the screws in here loose. I've been carrying this knife for a very long time. I've had this knife in pocket on and off for about 6 months now. So let's take a close look at it. This one does not have any markings on it. This knife has already been refinished, so you're not gonna see the same, but you can see nice grind. Everything's been chamfered just like you'd come to expect. So nice light little pocket knife, great in hand. It cuts really well because it's pretty thin. So Nitro V steel is one of those nitrogen steels. Elliot's done stuff in nitrogen steels before. N690 is technically a nitrogen steel. But I wanted to give you guys a chance to get a close look at this. I have been using, like I said, this particular prototype on and off for several months now. Action on it is great. With the blade being light, it's not drop shut. Still super smooth, just not a very heavy blade, so it's not going to be drop shut. The Nitro V seems to take a really good edge. I don't always like Nitro V, but I think in this knife it's a good choice. Nitro V is going to be something that's a little bit more corrosion resistant than a lot of other things. And this, on this thin knife, it does really well. I sharpened this on a ceramic plate. I finished it on a ceramic plate. It took a nice, clean, crisp edge. It cuts really well. And the fact is, like, it's a really nice shape for a lot of things that you might be doing. And with that forward choil, you can get up on it and do detail work. A lot like my Sea Snake. So I like the fact that you've got that flipping action without having an entire hole in the blade. So a lot of times this is done for some weight reduction, but like I said, you can get up in it. Oop, you can get up in it. I had to get my hand in the right position. You can get up in it and get up in it right there and get on it if I can get my finger in the right position. I do it 100 times and then I try to film it and it comes out poorly. So like I said, these are G10 scales that go on top. You can take this knife, you can take these scales off without taking knife completely apart. Like I said, I had this one apart here not long ago. Runs on bearings. It is a ceramic detent ball. I'm trying to get it in here so you guys can see. Let me turn this light on and see if that helps. Ceramic detent ball. I believe that these may be ceramic bearings. I did not take it all the way apart to see. I strictly took it apart enough to retighten that. So yeah, attractive little knife. I like that shape. It's pretty unique. It's pretty cool. Feels really good in hand. So let's do some size comparisons. So just so you can see, because I mean, I know I gave you sizes, but what's everybody always know? The Sebenza 21. So it's a good bit smaller than the Sebenza 21. So, I mean, really, I don't know what else to say about it. I've carried this knife. I use it. It works great. It is a handy little tool to have. So I kind of just wanted to do this for you guys to get a sneak peek of this before the knife goes up, because a lot of times I do these videos. Well, let's turn this around and do some final thoughts and we'll talk about that. I've done some of these videos before where I got a knife in before the release and I didn't get the video up until well after they went on sale and some of the options were gone. So I wanted to get ahead of it on this one and shoot the video. Elliot sent me the specs. There's some other specs on it that we didn't really need to get into, but so Elliot sent me the specs on this so I could do the video because I wanted to get it out ahead of the launch. So I wanted you guys to be able to see this, see that this was coming, and know that come Friday, today's Wednesday, come Friday, these knives are going to be available on various vendors and on Elliot's website. So keep that in mind. I know that you've probably seen our buddy Ashton post up pictures of one of these on Instagram. Our buddy Matt has been posting up pictures of one of these on Instagram. I believe they've been carrying those because they pre-purchased those knives when they came in. Every once in a while, Elliot will do that so that, you know, it's kind of almost a publicity thing where knives go to specific people that are going to post them up cleanly. I've had this prototype for a very long time. I can't tell you, I really love this knife, but there's only so much you can say. It's an amazing, great little knife. It's really nice and acute for small cutting tasks. It's great, nice and thin. And Nitro V Steel, I think, and this is a good choice. I think it's a really good decision for an all-around knife. So if you're interested in it, they're going to be up. Guys, that's really all I've got on this one. If you're interested in those, like I said, they'll be on Ferrum Forge website. I have some other videos that I'm going to get shot. This is an additional video. I'm just going to put this up today. So you're seeing it today as it got shot. So I'm going to do the quick edit on this, and then I've got some things I'm doing this afternoon. I will get this video up today, so you get 3 videos this week, plus a live feed this morning. I mean, I like to keep content up, but I like to keep it scheduled. So this is just kind of out of the norm. All right, guys. I got to run off and do some things. I love you guys. I love you all. Take it easy. Be safe. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.